Hey all, Board Game Rants here, where you'll find everything solo, tabletop, gaming, and more. The end of March, the end of the first quarter of the year. It's starting to warm up. I'm down in my cold basement, about to spew out all the games that I managed to play. Hope you managed to play some too as we approach and roll into spring. Here we go. So I did some spring cleaning, actually. Got rid of a few games, sold them on eBay. First time I tried doing that, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. I think I'll finish up too with what I'm looking forward to playing next month. And this month will be my 1-year anniversary for producing videos on YouTube. And so I'm probably going to do a separate video on that. But as for this particular show, as you know, we're just going to go over mainly what I played and what I thought about it. So we're going to start off with 65 games played. No, 65 plays. 13 different games played. So still got up there. You know, I had a slow start, and then it picked up speed as I started learning the games I was trying to learn. And so let's get through the ones that, you know, I always bring up. I always get together with family. I'm always playing card games with family. Got the Mind played 3 times. Fantastic family game. Pinochle 4 times. Another just good all around, all ages game to play. Uno 6 times. We had this spree that we played Uno. It was my daughter's birthday, and we just like sat down. There was 6 of us, and we all, we just did 6 quick games. We just, so these are quick games. So they don't really count towards like a nice meaty 65 plays, whatever. Played a game, and probably my last game of Blackout and Hong Kong, and it's a good game. And Alexander Pfister, and I just never really took to it. I found the more I played it, I just kind of kept staring at it on the table and wanting to put a different game on the table. And so that is how that game, it just kind of fizzled out for me. And so that'll be one I think I'll be trading or putting up for sale. It just never quite, I don't know, I couldn't get by the way it looks. It's just, I don't want to be that superficial, but I guess I am. I don't know. I couldn't, it just didn't look pleasant, and it was just pushing cubes around. And I loved how Rado runs through. He did his playthrough of it, and it was so, that's kind of what made me want to get it, because he could just see through the blah of it and just talk theme and really sold it. And I got it, and I was like, well, yeah, I can totally get into that. I can feel that too. And I was trying to, and I was playing, and I thought I was feeling it, but it just kind of went away. Anyway, so that's got 1 game of that and moved on. Gloomhaven, which I've gotten up on the table down here in the basement, which is getting less cold these days, but it's still freaking cold down here. I'm down here for a couple reasons, and one is to, I got some workout equipment down here, and you warm up at least while you're doing that. And then Gloomhaven, you just sit and freeze while you're playing. And while I'm recording this and while I'm playing Gloomhaven, I have a little heater cheating. It's right over here, kind of blasting on me. And it keeps me, at least from, oh my God, are you serious? You, Nevada. Excuse me for that outburst. The phone doesn't ring all day long. I don't know anybody in Nevada, I don't think. Back to what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Gloomhaven, cold basements, and got 1 play in. I got most of another one in, and I think I'm going to get rolling on that more as it gets warmer. The Alien game, Encounters, the Encounters, what is that? You know what I'm talking about. That one. Played it once, played it with family this time, and they loved it. I loved it. I love that game. And it just didn't, I was playing so many other games, it just didn't get on the table. But when I was asked, hey, we want to play a game, I was like, oh, I got the one. And we put up Alien, the movie on the TV and played through the Alien scenario, or whatever you call it, and had a blast and barely pulled it off. We were playing 3-player, 2 of us died, and my son at the last second managed to sneak in the victory. That was cool. That was fun. Played Shadowrun, so along those lines, Shadowrun Crossfire, played that 3 times just recently, just like in the past couple nights. And it's spring break, and I've got just family and just people over, just filtering through, and played that three times and introduced a new player to it. He seems to really like it, and it was fun too because we got to play 4 players, and it's just a great game. I've talked a lot about Shadowrun Crossfire. It's a cooperative card game. It's blisteringly difficult, but it's got lots of little missions you can do. You level up. There's some persistence to it as you can level up your characters and they get a little bit stronger. But there's just something so simple and sophisticated about this game at the same time that makes it you just pop out and just start playing, and it's just good times. Nemesis played 6 more times this month. That is going to be in the top 10 for 2019 for sure. And it was hard for me to put that one away. You know, unlike Blackout, which I was like, why are you here? Nemesis was like, I think I'd put it away and put it back up twice. And it's a lot of game to tear down and take up, but it's just so worth it that I just kept doing it. And so you dread it a little bit when you want to put it away. But I've only got so much table space. I only have 1, 2, coffee table, dining room table, and then my game table. Sure there's other tables around here, but I have games spread out. So I feel sorry for my family. I'm so sorry, family. That's why we eat on the couch. Anyway, Nemesis, 6 games. The game's awesome. I've done some playthroughs on it, a couple now. I did a little overview on that. I just love Nemesis. And check out those videos if you want to know more. Borrowed a game, Clank in Space, and played the solo version and the app. You just put it on your tablet and you start playing through this mission, and it's fun. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I only played 3 games, and then it's pretty easy to take down and set back up. So, and it's pretty easy to relearn. And so I'm thinking I'll probably get it back up on the table, but I'm just not sure because there's just too many other games now that I've got on the table that I'm just more into the style. It was fun. It was refreshing. It's just such a lighthearted game and a deck building game. And it's very cool. It kind of reminded me of Core Worlds, with the expansion. That's an Andrew Parks game, an older one, where you deck build, but you can really focus on certain factions and become really strong in a certain faction. So like cards, well, it's actually in a little bit like the Alien card game too, and that you can purchase certain things from the barracks that make you strong in a certain symbol or a certain class, and so then you can really start taking advantage of that and create these pretty awesome combos if you build your deck accordingly. And Clank in Space was that, just a little on the lighter side, and it's not a theme that I'm particularly enamored with. So so fun and very cool with the whole app process, very easy to implement. And that is becoming something I'm looking into more, because that's what saved Gloomhaven for me, were the awesome apps that you can get that simplify setup, simplify having to keep track of so many different things, and it's just all on, just all gone electronic now. Certainly a place in gaming, tabletop gaming. These apps and all these things are just, they're incredible, and people that are making them are it's just incredible. So moving on, Root. I played Root 3 times, and Root is on Kickstarter right now as I'm filming this, for another like 24 hours. And I started playing it again. I brought it out in last year. In my MVP show of, I don't know, was it September? It was one of the first ones, October, I don't know. I explained how I'd purchased Root, had for the expansion, with the expansion came a solo variant. I was very excited because Root was is so popular, and it was a total letdown. The official solo version was crap. I mean, just, it was. And but I wasn't the only one who thought that. And so a individual, and I wish I could recall their name, started up the Better Bot project. And because it was called the Mechanical Marquee, and it was like this robot cat, the Better Bot project was fan-made endeavors to create a better bot system, not only for the cats, which is just one faction. Then you've got the birds, and you got the meesers, and you got the foxes. And so they created bots for all of these. And on Kickstarter right now is not only the newest expansion coming up, but on that, I guess they've collaborated with the designers collaborated with them probably, and we're like, hey, let's make this official. Let's make this the official solo/bot. I mean, because you can actually add it into multiplayer games too, and just have bots running around, getting in your way, and creating. You just got 2 of you playing. You can now have 4 of you playing, 2 of them bots, and they run smoothly. It's just I'm just so stunned by the creativity of people and the passion that must go into these projects that just over one game, and they're just so detailed and magnificent. I don't know is the word for it. It is fantastic. I've only played 3 games with it, and I'm just getting slaughtered. I'm just not good at the game, I don't think. But that immediately just, and I wanted to play it because I wanted to know, do I want to get in on this? Do I want to jump in on this Kickstarter before it's gone? So I've got still 24 hours to decide, and I think though I've pretty much made my decision that I am going to go forward with it, because you can not only get the expansion, but you can also get the official versions of these bots, because right now it's all print and play. And so I am, at the very least, it's a game that is so mega popular that I'm going to be able to trade it or sell it or something if it's just not up my alley. And so that was Root, and I just played a game here this morning, April 1st, and because I'm still working it, still trying to decide, and it really is good. So if you are a fan of solo gaming and you are disappointed with Root's, first attempt, these are incredible. So now let's get into the games of, I usually do a surprise, and I do the most disappointing game, and then I do the MVP, most voraciously played game. So starting with the surprise, I busted out, and I remember exactly why, but Innovation. It is an old card game. I did a video on this too, because it just, when I busted it out, it's like like almost a 10-year-old game. Game rules for one, a BGG user who's been doing solo variants for games for a decade plus now, did a variant for this game, and I don't know, I got the itch to play it again, because it's a card game, it's a tableau building game. It's still quite a popular, well-known game. And if you're into card games that are fairly, the rule book is just tiny. But the combinations and stuff that you can pull off, and as you're sort of building, your tableau ends up being kind of like a civilization that you build up. And your civilization's strength is dependent on how many of each type of symbol you have. And that determines how dominant you are in that. And so when you start playing cards, you can make other people do things because you're so strong in a certain area. But they can vice versa change it around on you, and the tables can turn so quick with this game, like with one card, or you take one of the actions and it can just change the whole game. You can actually, like later in the game, if you're really losing, you can get a game or play a card that actually kind of nukes the whole board, and it represents, it's in one of the later civilizations that just has the ability to nuke, and like everybody's resets, and just such cool mechanisms that, but ultimately what surprised me about is I guess what I'm trying to get at is how it stood the test of time. This game, the solo variant, is still so viable. It was so ahead of its time back when it was created, and it's just testament to this guy's creativity. And even some of the solo games, he's out there, he's making solo variants, his own solo variants for like a lot of Uwe Rosenberg games. He's played the solos, and he's just made them better for himself. And a lot of them I've tried. I really like the Agricola one that he turned out like 10 years ago, which was actually one of the very first Automa type systems, because you had this deck of cards that you flipped over, and it determined where it was sort of like the first viticulture, where you'd flip over cards and it would just kind of block spaces and things. Well, this one was smart. He's redone them for Gates of Loyang, which is highly touted as like one of the best solo games, and he did his own version of that because it just wasn't good enough. And so amazing efforts, and some of the things. I haven't been a fan of like all of his variants, but this one for Innovation, I was just taken back by how so relevant it still is, as we have solo variants coming out now that are kind of different styles and shapes and forms of solo variants now, with automa style and drawing cards, and other ones that just that are like impeding type variants, and other ones that are actually smart and you can actually look and see what the AI might do, and AIs that, you know, are breaking all sorts of, there's lots of tiebreakers to consider, and just lots of, they're getting more complex. But I think it is better for the industry because it just gives someone like myself and the ever-growing solo tabletop gaming industry more viable options and just tons of games. And so innovation, that was my biggest surprise, pulling it out, played that 5 times. Most disappointing. And I say this about a game that I think is going to make quite possibly going to make my top 10. I don't know, of 2019. It is good, and that is Cerebria. I played it 11 times now, and it's still up, and it's I think it has like a weight level of 4.24 or something. It's one of the weightier games on Board Game Geek, like up there with Mage Knight, up there with Gaia Project. And I tell you what, I watched videos on this over and over again, watched the same ones a few times, like how to play how to play it, and how to play against Ego, which is the solo variant of this game. Cerebria is a game that I just don't think it really took. It's the same creators of Trickerion and Anachrony, but you look at it and it just looks like this. I mean, it's stunning visually, and you look at it, it looks like just tie-dye, and it looks like just well done tie-dye board. But what does it mean? You know, you don't look at it and think, oh yeah, that's definitely an area control game. You don't, not at all. It's an objective-driven area control game. That is what Cerebria is, but its skin is amazing. I love the theme of it, which is just all emotions. You're basically building up the emotional identity of a human being from start to finish, and you're pitting gloom against bliss. So you're going to end up at the end of the game with a gloomier character or a more blissful character. And what they call revelations are just basically certain things that trigger a scoring. And then based on your objective, based on a common objective, you're going to add fragments that represent bliss or gloom to the identity in the middle of the board, and you'll stack up this cool looking tower. And so these revelations kind of are, I can just picture them being, you know, this human being that just reaches this crossroads of life, and depending on what's going on at the time, something really sticks and they just never forget it, and it becomes part of their identity. But it's so complex, and it's so much to wrap your head around. I read the rule books a few times, and so all in all, back to, why was I disappointed in this game, is because when you play it in its full version, which is big, I mean, tons of stuff. You're playing cards, and when you play a card, you got to look, okay, I get each card can have its own little power that it does, or kind of an ongoing power that you got to keep in mind. You can upgrade cards. You can upgrade, like, I don't know, like happiness to ecstasy. I don't know. I don't even think those are two of the emotions in there. But you can take these cards and you upgrade the cards into stronger cards, and then you have this board that represents whether you're playing, you'll play a character of bliss or a character of gloom, and those boards all have different powers. They can on the A side, they all have the same powers, but there's like 20 different actions. Well, there's really only 4, 5. There's only 10 actions you can take, but there's variations of each of those actions, and it depends on who's controlling what realm, and there's frontiers to control, and there's so much terminology there that, you know, there's aspirations, and there's essence, and there's, you know, these terms don't mean a lot to someone that's played, but, you know, an area control game where it's just like, you know, do you have more bad guys in here than that person does, or, you know, there's just, it's so sophisticated sounding, but once you get the terminology down, it all makes sense. What I found disappointing is when you play the full game, it is too easy to beat Ego, which is the bot, if you will. There was, fortunately, difficulty levels in this, because this was a David Churchgy, I'm sorry, David, I can't pronounce, one of his variants, which is, I mean, it's why I got the game. bottom line. That's why I got the game, because I loved Teotihuacan. I loved Anachrony. He is one of my favorite solo designers, probably my favorite one right now. And so I knew he designed it. And it came with levels. And so I've added like, 4 levels of difficulty, and now it's finally up to like an actual challenge. There's only a couple difficulty levels. So it was just, but you could play a basic version of it against the bot, against Ego, and it's hard. It like feels right. The difficulty level feels right. And then when you add in the difficulty levels, then it really ramps up, and it's like, oh my gosh, I would never win this at this level. And I like that, but I don't like how it didn't scale from playing the basic game, which is still a whole hell of a lot of a game, but I didn't spend all the time reading all those manuals and watching those videos to play the friggin' basic game. I want the whole enchilada. And so, but when you play the whole enchilada, it became too easy. And so that was disappointing. But I add those difficulty levels, and I still got it up on the table, and I still plan on playing that more. And because now after 11 plays, I feel like I'm starting to get it. I'm really, now there's just so many things you can do, and different ways you can try to win. I mean, you can actually build your deck too on this game. So you start off with a deck of emotions, and you can change them out each game and try out different variations, because the different emotions upgraded other different emotions. So it changes up you can change this game in so many ways. You can flip over the board from the A side to the B side, and depending on who you're playing on Gloom or Bliss, there's whole different, like, I haven't even tried that yet. So there's so much to try in this game, and it's really good, but it does take a long time. This, between an hour and 2 for these games, and but I'm into it. So, but I did find that disappointing. So, most voraciously played game. I feel like I'm rambling. Am I rambling? Yes, I probably am rambling. Euphoria, Ignorance is Bliss. 18 plays of that, and I got that about mid-month, and I have been jamming on it. I just put it away because I just played it so much, and I still plan on playing it. But that game, I got it because of the Automa that came out, and because it was the creators, the Automa Factory, of my favorite game of 2018, Gaia Project, and because the solo variant, the Automa, was run much the same way. There's degrees of predictability. You can kind of see what's coming. You can sort of plan around it. You can build this deck of cards to taste, to create a more difficult experience. They actually have a difficulty level called I Want to Cry, I think is what it's called, which is probably, I haven't tried it. I don't want to cry. But it looks like it would make you. I did a tutorial for the expansion, what it's about, but ultimately the coolest thing about this too, so for those of you who aren't just into solo gaming and are mainly into 2-player gaming, this Automa, this AI, it runs 2 players. So you can play a total of 4 people in this, and so, or maybe more, I don't know. I've only played solo, but you can play a 2-player game and add in the Automas to get kind of that 4-player vibe, which is incredibly cool. And they get in your way, and they block spaces, and they ramp up on their allegiance tracks, and they do all this, they do it all. They're building markets, and it's a very easy system to run. It was not difficult to get the hang of, especially after trying to learn something like friggin' Cerebria. This game was like, felt light, like reading it. And it was like, I read through it again, and I think I got it. And so I did a tutorial on this. It was actually, I was quite honored in that in the last email update, Jamie Stegmaier of Stonemaier Games included my video in his email as a video to go to learn how to play the Automa. And so that was pretty cool. And so I will link that. It's up there. If it's good enough for Jamie, going to be good enough for hopefully couple other people. There'll be a playthrough too if you just want to see it in action. The game looks beautiful, and it's just great. It's just a great game. And, it won some Mensa award. I don't think I've even heard of a game that's won that. I don't even know what you got to do to win that. So, but Jamie Stegmaier is putting out awesome games. 2 of them I think are in the top 20 of BGG. And so I think it's probably well worth checking out, especially if you like quick solo game. You can play it actually in about 45 minutes. You can bust through an entire game. And that's good for the level of game it is. And the weight of it, it doesn't feel that heavy, but it plays gloriously. So, well worth checking out. So that's it. That is all of the games that I played. What are some of the games I'm looking for? Oh man, am I looking forward to Xia. I think that's how you write it. Legends of Adrift and its expansion, Embers of a Forsaken Star. And I'm just so looking forward. It just looks like everything, like Nemesis has this sort of a sandboxy feel. You just sort of wake up and you're just, there's this dead guy on the ground and a big old hole burst out of his chest and you're trying to fear in this, like, you got woke up and out of the slumber. You don't really remember anything. You just start stumbling around the ship and noises and aliens keep popping out and stuff. And you just, and you'll have this objective and you got to try to make it work against all odds, whatever. Well, Xia seems kind of sandboxy too. And you just jump in a ship and you just kind of just start flying around. You can deliver stuff or you can try to shoot people down or you can do this or you can do that. And there's all sorts of things happen. There's gravity fields and things that you have to pull yourself out of orbit and do all this crazy stuff. And it's the roll of the die, which can just like kill you. But you can build up your ship and you can add this or that. And it just looks amazing. It just looks like a blast. And it looks like a game that I'd probably play multiplayer as well. But Embers of a Forsaken Star, I'll give it a campaign and give it all the solo capabilities. So I got them both. They're both still in their wrap because right when I was about to bust it out, I was like, I figured I got to make a decision about root. So I had to break out root and relearn it. But Xia is coming up next. Very excited for Xia here in April. And so the games that I purged on eBay, I did some spring cleaning, as I was saying. Tiny Epic Galaxies. Sold that. Zolkin, Mayan Calendar. Now Teotihuacan. It's just, I never have to go back to, I don't know. I love Teotihuacan. Sold Railroad Rivals. Did not like that game. I did. I tried playing it multiplayer. It just not my kind. I like rail building games, track laying games, and it just I don't know, just wasn't. I even liked the stock trading games, and it was just too watered down for me. And then the solo was just horrific. So sold that. But again, and then I got Fire in the Library. I kickstarted it and got it. I never opened it because I could just tell that it wasn't going to stick with me. I'd play it and I'd probably even oh, that's fun. That's it's certainly for a certain person would like this game. But I'm just glad I supported it. But I never even opened it. Just sold that right away. And but big one probably be I sold Wingspan. For an obnoxious amount of money. And as you know, or if you follow that sort of stuff, that was kind of a shortage. I'd already played it like 17 times. I don't know. I'd got a ton of plays in it, and more are coming. But ultimately, it funded me getting. I just recycled it right back into Stonemaier Games and picked up Euphoria and expansion. So yeah. Anyway, I'll probably pick that up again later down the road when it's massively available, and I'll get the newer edition. And but yeah, I guess I was a little capitalistic of me or whatever. Someone wanted it more. I'd already played it, and so I was able to sell that. And but again, just put it right back into Stonemaier Games. So hopefully that was nice. And then I made a video for it, tutorial that Jamie seemed to like. So hopefully it all worked out. Anyway, I think that's it. I think this is maybe the first show too I've done with my hands in my pockets the whole time. So I haven't been all like, because it got really warm and then it got really cold again. And so my toes are cold and I'm just kind of, sitting here, be my first show where it's just me bobbing my head all over the place. But that is it. Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting to mention. I am also on Instagram. I am also on Twitter. I am also on Facebook. All under Board Game Rants handle. You should check me out. On Instagram, I usually do a lot of what I'm playing, or I just kind of display new games as I get them, and I'll just put them out and take a picture and make some comments. On Twitter, I just sort of, I don't know. I just don't really know what to do with Twitter yet, but Facebook I'd like to turn into almost like a daily sort of diary of what I'm playing and talk a little bit about it. And but there's only like there's not many. I can't get people to like the page. Thank you, those couple of you that always comment and are always checking it out, and I love that. I want to do more with it, and I'd certainly be encouraged to do more with it if more people like the page and were just interested in watching what I was doing and what I'm playing and what I'm thinking about it. Like not just once a month, but you know, damn near every day. So check those out again. And also what's coming up too is probably I'm going to do a video here shortly on, I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary. So thank you all for making that possible, I guess. I still remember back when, well, anyway, I think I'll probably do a whole video on that if I have the time and the inclination. Just kind of an appreciation and just a lot of things have changed in my head about what I'm doing here, what I'm trying to accomplish, and that's, you know, kind of this whole video in on its own. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for your comments. Hopefully they're to come. Tell me your thoughts on, you know, you son of a bitch, why would you sell Wingspan? What are you, crazy? I did. I was the one, you know, when I got it, I said, I think this is Elizabeth Hargrave's, you know, Gloomhaven. I don't think she's gonna be able to top it. And that was back before it was really, there was some talk about it, but you know, you can just tell it's a special game. But I'll probably get it again. So, all right, forgive me. Until next time, I'm Board Game Rants. I'm out. This one. I totally lost track of what I was disappointed in Cerebria. Let's go back. Okay, Cerebria. Emotional literacy. Oops, I think I just bumped this, and that probably made a horrendous noise, and I am sorry.